What's up guys, Polypopo here, and we're going to learn how to make this beat today. I'm going to walk you through it step by step, and I really want to bring value to my channel, so if there's anything that I can do better, leave it in the comments below. Alright, let's get started. Anyway, so we're going to get right in here, and I'm going to show you guys how to make a song on the MPC. This way, when you get one, or you want to see how the workflow is, how cool this box can actually be. Let's get this. This is ridiculous. Alright, so cool. We got our MPC. Everything's unused. And what we're going to do is hit the browse button. And we're going to go to content. Don't worry about places. That's where you want to save stuff. You're not going to worry about anything to do with places or your expansions. We're not even going there. We're just going straight up out of the box. What can it do? And with your content, you got your drums. Now you can go to your samples in your drums, and you can type in kick, kick, snare, hi-hat, and it'll put them in alphabetical order for you. I know, let me see, but I like to use just the whole kit, okay? I like the acoustic kit. This loads up, these are one shots. This is for one drum, one pad. It's going to get this note. Now, this fills up all 16 pads with a kit that has the same genre of music. So it's going to be an acoustic kit, a full kit on 16 pads. I'll turn it up just a little so you can hear. See, so you get all those drums. Now, with your samples, you're only going to get, which is really, really dope, because you can go in and stack your drums up to have 4 different types of kicks, or 3 kicks, a snare, and an 808, and you can totally do all that. But just to load up a drum kit, just to get a kit going, you hit load. I'm just going to hit, in the middle of the MPC here, you can see there's like an up, down, left, right, and in the middle there's a blank button. I'm going to refer to it as the OK button. So if you hear me say hit the OK button, it's this button inside this. So to load that kit, you hit the OK button. Next is what you want to do. So we got our drum kit. We got our whole drum kit. You got to understand that you don't want to have 50 different drum kits throughout the whole album. Or if you ever watch a concert or a show or anything like that, you don't see the drummer pull out different drums. He, if anything, tunes them a little bit before each next song, but most of the time he uses one drum kit. So we're just going to use the first one to make things easy. They're all dope. They're all awesome. So real quick, in a band, what do you have? You have drums, and then you have instruments. What kind of instruments? So the best thing to do is you want to make a type of song that you heard, and you're like, man, how do I even start with that song? Where do I even go? So get a piece of paper and write down, or listen to this song and be like, all right, cool, it's got a bass. We're going to load up a bass. What else did it have? It had strings. So you wait, it had some keys. So we'll load up the keys. And all I'm doing is hitting the OK button over here to load up. I don't like to touch the screen too much. So we had keys. Let's say he had some weird lead like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to just have 1 or 2 different instruments. You want to have, if you're trying to get the whole band to play, you want to have a bass, a guitar, a string, a keyboard, a piano, as much as you can, really. And all the sounds sound okay whenever you're going through them like this, but whenever you add note repeat or slide effects to them, they totally change. These are GIFs. We'll use that little area effect. We'll use this. Still waiting for those strings. Little plucky. those strings. Some violin. And the reason I load up so many sounds is because, like I said, whenever you get your MPC and you're on a new project, it's a blank slate. You have nothing. And the last thing you want to do whenever you're making a beat is have to go through here and stop your workflow to find out if you like a sound or not. Right. So that's it. Guys, hang on one second here. I want to tell you how important that part is, because if you're going to stop your workflow in the middle of anything, chances are you're not going to go back to it. It's not going to work. You don't want to interrupt that workflow. So right now you have your drums on the 4 squares. The 4 squares are always going to be your drums. They're always going to be your chops, always going to be your samples. And I'll make a better video about the sampling and how to different chops and how to assign them to pads and all that. But where do you find those sounds that you just loaded up? For the drums, they're going to be right here on the 4 squares. Now this plug here, these are synthesizers that come with the MPC. They're really, really cool. We're not going to get into that. You have, that's a different world of stuff. All we're going to worry about are these two over here, the drum and the keyboard. Okay, so the drums, that's where we got our drums. This is where you can assign your samples, warp your samples, edit your samples, and get them, and you can tune them, all kinds of crazy cool stuff, right? But for the keys, for track 1, we got our bass. This is all going to be on one sequence. We don't even worry about the sequence. All we're worrying about is track and the instrument. So for track 2, how many different sounds did we load? We loaded 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we need 9 tracks, which is really, really cool. That means that we have 9 different instruments, 9 different tracks. And we don't have to use every single one of them if we don't want. It's just that it's better to have them there. All I'm doing is putting them all on each track, which you don't have to because you don't know what sound you're going to want. But I just think that this is one of the most important parts, is setting up everything. It's not how fast you do it. It's how consistent you are at doing it. All right, so we got some instruments loaded up. Track 1, we got our bass. Track 1. So we got all of our sounds loaded up, you know. You know, if you want track 1 to be your drums, load up track 1 to be your drums. Me personally, I like to make my melody a little bit after I do my drums. I like to make my melody before I do my drums. I like to ride with a metronome, and it just kind of gives me a little bit of space to see where the sounds take me. And it's a really, really cool, fast workflow. So all we did was turn on the MPC, we hit browse, and then we went to drums under content, nowhere else. We didn't go anywhere else. All we did was turn on the MPC, went to content, you hit drums. You select any drums you want. You can load up a whole bunch of drums, the same way you did instruments. This way, if you want to change the sound of the drum kit while it's playing, you can. You can just change the drum kit. We got drums. We picked about 6 or 7 different instruments. Now we're ready to go. And there's tons of different instruments in here. Tons of different samples, but we picked those at random, actually, just so that we can have some sound in the MPC. They were pleasing to the ear, and we went with it. So first thing you're going to do, me personally, I think starting off with 4 bars is a little easier. Track 1 for me is going to be my bass. And I'm just going to show you now. I'm just going to play these parts and just watch the workflow, and it'll help you guys, trust me. What I do is I hit this record button right here. Check this out. I hit my overdub button. I never, ever just hit my record button. I never hit record unless I'm doing audio. And when you do audio, it's got to be from the beginning of the track. Overdub, you know, I can hit play, and then I'm going to use my metronome here. And let's put a bass line down. Whenever I'm ready to play, I'm going to hit record. And it's really important. I can't believe I can't get this to... Let's just do it like that. We'll do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. That's all we're going to do for track 1. I'm going to hit the overdub button. It's still playing. So now I can go to track 2. And now I can figure out what I want to play on my keys. It's not going to record until I hit that overdub, but you don't want to stop that workflow. That's what we're going to do. So that's all we're going to do for that. Go to track 3. Maybe we like that sound. That's it. Go to track 4. Add some pads. Go to track 5. We're almost done. This is the hardest part of making the whole song was loading up and figuring out to set up everything. There is an easier way where you can just use the plugins and it's a whole lot faster, but to find the sounds that are in your MPC, keep it going. Like right now, you do not want to hit the browse, be like, oh, I'm out of sounds, I don't know what else to do. And it's just a bunch of little sounds making a big sound. It's not. Just trust me, let's keep going. Go to track 6. cool. I can live with that. Next. Strings, here we go, this will be good. So I don't want the whole thing to be 4 bars, right? So I'm gonna take this, hit the pencil up here, double the length. See that? 8 bars. Now I'm gonna record my violin part. So now I got an 8-bar loop on top of all those 4-bar loops. Dig? Let's see if we got one more. It's just something. Add some drums. So we got 8 tracks. Track 9 is going to be drums, remember? Go to the square. Let's lay down some drums. No repeat. What I'm doing, I'm just filling up my drum pattern here. And I'm not going to have all this playing all at once. It's going to be, I'm going to sequence it out so where you're not going to hear but 2 different synth parts at the same time. That's where you're going to get the hook, the intro. But right now, I like everything to be all on one sequence, banged out like if it was the 4th of July, man, and I'll separate it all later, but I want to hear the groove. Alright, so that might sound like a whole lot, right? But me personally, I might want to switch in between like a reggaeton beat. I could fit any kind of beat in between that in any gap, and I like to have all of them there, so if I hear a melody, I can call it up and I can, it's better to have it there than not, is all I'm saying. So yeah, it sounds like a lot right now, right? So, and I really don't like these drums right here, so I'm gonna go to my pad mixer. turn those down. Didn't really like those, but they're still there, and I have the option to take them away without stopping my workflow. So what we're gonna do, we got 9 tracks. I'm gonna hit the pencil here because I want to be able to control all these. So I'm gonna hit this button right here, explode. It mutes out track 9, but it takes my drums and puts my kick on 10, pad 2 on 11, 3 on 12, and so on. So now I have all these different tracks. Every yellow box is a different track, right? So we got all these different synth parts. And that's pretty much it. That's gonna be the whole song. I hope that helps. And what I'm gonna do is just take this sequence. I want to take this sequence, and it's 8 bars right now. So if you want to rap over 8 bars or sing over 8 bars, and per sequence, it's going to be a little different. It's going to be a different workflow. I want to show you one smooth transition to get all that going. So we're going to do a 64 bar song. It usually gives you about 2 minutes, 6, 12, 18, shake it, about 3 minutes. Let's do this. We're going to hit the pencil, and we're going to copy this sequence 8 different times because I had 8 different instruments, remember? And I want each instrument, I want each one, you always give credit when it's due. And I want every instrument to have its time to shine in this drum break and during this song. And that's how I'm going to get it to not repeat, but it's going to have that same vibe throughout the whole song. So I want 8 different variations. So I'm going to copy 1 to 2, 1 to 3. I'm going to copy it 8 times. 4, 6, 7. Now I got 8. All right, so beautiful, right? Now I have 8 sequences. What I'm going to do, this is the only time I'm going to hit stop, guys. I mean, that we already made the song. That's it. I mean, congratulations. That is a lot. That is a lot to do. So if you followed those steps, if you didn't, man, I don't know what I can try to slow it down and do it, or you can rewatch it, or you can email me or whatever, man. But I want to get you through this because this is a barrier that you need to break. And so now we got all this, right? So if you hit track mute, you can go to menu and hit track mute. I use the button, I hit track mute. For sequence 8, these are all my drums, right? I don't want all my drums coming out. All I'm doing right now is changing how I want my sequences to sound. Sequence 8 is going to sound like this. Cool. We're gonna make sequence 7 sound like we're just gonna I'm gonna show you this real quick. We don't want to unmute 9, so sequence 6 is gonna sound like this. Sequence 5 we're gonna let ride out. Sequence 4 we're gonna mute some of this. Sorry. You see what I'm doing, right? I'm giving each synth track its own juice. I'm letting each one of it, I don't want them all going off at the same time. And I definitely don't want them going off, at random either. I want them, so sequence 2. Let's start this like this. It's a little easier when you can't see. Mute out all these drums on sequence 2. Sequence 1. And like I said, you can spend a lot of time on this part right here, but I want to show you how it works. I don't want to show you how I do it. You're not going to make the beat the same way I'm going to, so I'm just showing you how it works. So sequence 1 is going to be like this. Sequence 2 it's gonna be like this. Cool. Sequence 3. Right. Sequence 4 or 5. See how they're all different. So now what we got to do is go into song mode. Hit menu and then go into song. And you want to insert these sequences. You got 8 sequences, right? And right now they all say that they're the same. You want to enter sequence 1 to 1. If you want 1 to play twice, loop it twice. Okay? We don't. I just want it to play once. So we got sequence 1. This is, you're just arranging everything right now. And this is old school workflow, same in like the 2500 or the MPC Ren or the 5000. I would do the same thing. And a lot of people ask me, whoa, why didn't you buy like Machine? Because I couldn't get this workflow down. Couldn't get this part down. So if I do this right now, it's got all my 8 sequences, right? This is stupid, okay? So make sure you do this right. It can be discouraging if you do it wrong. You'll have an hour-long song or you'll have a 2-second long song. You want to make sure this is highlighted right here, all the way at the last sequence. If you highlight it here, it's only going to give you 24 bars and these 3 different variations. You want to convert it right there at the last sequence. So we got 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3, 4 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 blah, blah, blah. You hit convert to 9. Now, when you hit main and you go to sequence 9, you got a 64 bar song. And I want to let you guys hear this, and I want to thank you very much for watching. And if you have any questions, and I'll give you a second here before I hit play to really hit that subscribe button or to share the video to somebody that you think could benefit from this. We didn't even mix, we didn't master, we didn't do any of that. And again, if you want, and you're done with this, let's go back into song mode. I want to show you something real quick here. Let's clear this out. You can take all these sequences like this, but I want to insert my new sequence, sequence 9. Now I can export sequence 9. Pretty dope, right? You can do, this isn't going to do it in your stems. This is for a wave. This is for your final product after you're done with your song. Now, if you have stems and all that, you want to save it as a project archive and blah, blah, blah. We'll do that later. But if you didn't catch that, we just hit menu, song. We got our song in there. Yeah, we liked it. Then you hit export to wave, output, blah, blah, blah. Leave all this the same. Export it, and you're good to go. You can listen to it in your car or whatever. Before doing that, I would recommend listening it into your MPC, make sure it's mixed and mastered, which we haven't done that yet. So let's hit play and see what we got. All right, guys? And thanks again. I could have went a little lighter on those drums, but like I say, for a random song, it's alright. It's the workflow it's the repetition part. It's the practice, that workflow. It's not the song. The song don't matter. There ain't no bad beat. Yeah, I had fun with this. This is cool. Well, guys, that's all I got for today. But I thought I would get down here and do something. So I hope that helped out. All right. If any guys have any questions or anything like that, you can email me, or if you need a one-on-one session, because there's a lot of videos out there. I don't mind whatsoever. I'm usually good on the evenings. Sunday and Monday are really good days. It does fill up quick. I try to spend an hour to 2 hours with each person. I don't charge anything, but I do accept donations. So if you feel like you got something out of the one-on-one, then yeah, just send me something. That's great, and I'll buy a wire or whatever. But yeah, right on. I'll catch you guys later.